what has Linus done now? Well, I guess we can rant about it for a moment. First disclaimer, I am on Floatplane, and you can support our channel on Floatplane by paying for Floatplane membership to our channel. So that Floatplane is run by Linus Tech Tips, or is an affiliate of Linus Tech Tips. So just, fair disclosure here. And also, I love Linus Tech Tips. I watch his videos regularly. I love his style, and I'm really proud of his growth. Maybe even a little bit like it inspires me, and maybe someday I'll be a slightly larger YouTuber. I don't think I'll ever reach Linus Tech Tips size. It got pretty big, but I think it's really cool that he has grown so much. So then when I see things like this, it hurts. It hurts a little bit because it's only a tweet. I understand it's only 280 characters and there's only so much you can say, but there's so much more behind online piracy, let alone ad blocking. I was a child of the internet. I got my first internet connection in 1994 after reading the Tidbits newsletter and a book created by the author about how you get started on the internet. And I got my first dial-up connection at, I think, 14.4 kilobits per second. And I remember running up a long distance bill because I connected to a BBS using my parents' long distance service. Couple, I don't know, $100 or so in long distance service so I could download some things from a BBS. And I've been a member of the, participating member of the internet for the last, however many years that is, 26 years or something, 28 years. So I've seen ads on the internet before. Sometimes there were just banner ads. Then there were banner ads that flashed. Then there were sidebar ads. Then there were full screen ads. We eventually got ads that are served by Google, because Google wasn't a thing back in the day. And then we got ads that were served on image websites, because you didn't have video back in the beginning of the internet. It was very large. You could download a video, but it took forever, so there wasn't a whole lot of like browsing videos and things. Then we got high-speed internet, and videos started to become important. YouTube was created, YouTube was purchased by Google, etc., etc., and now we have the current state of ads. And there's been a cat and mouse game going on in the background this whole time, trying to block ads that are too intrusive, sometimes blocking ads altogether. And now we have extensions like uBlock Origin, AdBlock Plus. We have devices like the Raspberry Pi Pi-hole, which allows you to run your DNS through an actual mini computer, which will have block lists of content hosts that are not permitted to serve advertising content through your internet connection. And the more intrusive the ads have got, just like other kinds of piracy, the less available the content is. The more intrusive the ads get, the more energetic the efforts are to block those ads or to limit those ads. On the easy side of this argument, I think it's totally okay to block ads that serve malware. Now the problem is, how do you know which ads serve malware and which don't? Malware is terrible. Malware is basically a virus that can get on your computer and then talk back to its owner, and it can be a way to get ransomware on your computer. It can be a way to have your computer used as part of a botnet. It can be a way to have your computer be used for other purposes, erasing your computer just as doing bad things to your computer, becoming a Bitcoin miner for somebody else or some other cryptocurrency mining or something. These are all bad things that can happen because of the way ads are served. And so though those malware packages could be served by things other than ads, ads provide one major vector through which they can come. They can also get in through email, through opening links. You can have malicious web pages try to serve them that aren't even ads, they're just on the web page. So we try to block these things as much as possible. We have antivirus software, and we have anti-malware software, and we have ad blocking software. That's the easy part. The more difficult part is, what if you have a website that really is only supported by ads, not subscription-based, like many news websites are behind paywalls now. YouTube, for example, you can access YouTube by simply creating an account, agreeing to the terms of service, and then watching. What if you find a way through an extension to block YouTube ads? YouTube Advanced, I think, is one of them, where you can block YouTube ads. I've even found, specifically because of this story, I found that there are extensions which even block the timestamps on your YouTube videos when creators are making those in-video ads, when they're shout out to our sponsor, and then they name one of several advertisers that support Linus Tech Tips, for example. There are even ways to block those. So let's say that your website or your YouTube channel is entirely supported by advertising revenue. Yeah, I can see how you feel a little sour that you're getting, 1 million views, but only 700,000 of them are paid views, or even less. So I can understand a content creator feeling sore about that. But is it piracy? I mean, that's an opinion thing. I don't think that that's a fact. I think that this is a hot take by Linus, and I understand his position, but I disagree. Respectfully disagree. I do not think that ad blocking is the same thing as piracy. I think that it's a cat and mouse game between ever more intrusive ads and content creators who are trying to maximize revenue. I too would like to maximize my revenue. And it's a balancing act between how intrusive you make your ads and how many ads you make and how long they are and whether they're skippable. It's a policy decision. And I've attended copyright conferences and seminars and continuing education courses where we discuss this exact issue. And the solution depends heavily on the content creator's opinions of what the causes of piracy are. And I want to do a longer video on the causes of piracy, but basically, there's going to be some people who always pirate, and there's nothing you can do about it. They're always going to seek the free copy. They're never going to pay for it. Maybe they can't pay for it. Maybe there isn't anything you could do to convince them to pay for it, even if you could. There are people then who are in the middle, the bell curve of this problem, the 80% in the middle, who are willing to pay for content if only it's made available to them at a good price, if they're able to access it in fact, and then if they're able to pay for it. Maybe a $60 video game that's only available in the United States has two problems. First problem, at $60, some people aren't going to be willing to pay for it. Second problem, if it's only available in the United States, then the rest of the world has no choice but to pirate it or not consume the content. Some people will choose to be law-abiding and not consume the content or wait till it becomes available. The point is, if something is accessible, both physically accessible and pricingly accessible, then I expect it'll have less piracy than something that is popular and exclusive and high-priced. If you made something that everybody wanted and you made it inaccessible, I expect you to see higher piracy numbers. So in a way, piracy acts as an equalizer, whether we like it or not. It's not going to go away. It's a problem with the internet. There are various ways to pirate, and I don't know that they're going away. And I say this as a defense attorney who defends people from a company that accuses people of piracy over BitTorrent and then sues them based on IP address. If it's actually piracy, according to Linus Tech Tips here, then Linus Tech Tips could be the first company that starts suing people for using AdBlock. Maybe they put something in their terms of service that says, in order to watch this video, you have to watch our ads. You can't use AdBlock software, and we're tracking this, so when you use AdBlock software, we can sue you over it. One of the problems they're going to encounter is that ad blocking does not constitute copyright infringement according to a German court. Yes, it's a German court. It doesn't apply to the US, but it's one of the first times I've ever seen ad blocking constitute copyright infringement in a plaintiff's eyes so much that they would sue over it. And now Germany has said that ad blocking is not copyright infringement because it's not creating a derivative work, it's not creating a copy, it is simply removing parts of a website that the defendant does not want to see. It's not even altering the content that's being served. Apparently the content gets served and then the ad blocking software blocks the ad from being displayed. So it's not altering the content in a substantive way. It's only blocking content according to the desire of the consumer. So neither the ad blocking company nor the consumer could be sued for that. And I suspect the same thing is true in the US. It would be an uphill battle in the US to sue for copyright infringement for blocking ads. But I wanted to hear what you had to say on this. Where do you fall on this whole ad blocking is piracy? It's one thing to say that copying somebody's video game via BitTorrent without authorization is piracy. That sounds like that's piracy to me. Game of Thrones was famously one of the most pirated pieces of content ever. The Red Wedding episodes, I think, reached billions of downloads via pirate, like 1 billion downloads via piracy or something, making it world record setting, if there is such a world record kept, for piracy numbers. So great, that's piracy, I get that, and we can go over those reasons are the same reasons. It was on HBO, you couldn't get it unless you paid HBO. What if they just made it available for $2 or $3 an episode? I bet you people would have spent more money on Game of Thrones because they didn't want HBO Max. I don't want to have to subscribe to more streaming services either, and then remember to cancel them when I'm not using them anymore. So is ad blocking then piracy? And I don't think so. I don't consider it piracy. I consider it filtering the internet based on your preferences. I don't know if you've seen some of the websites. There are some websites out there that are just unusable with ads, especially mobile websites where the ads just take up the whole screen and the little X is hard to hit. Sometimes they're accidentally or maybe even intentionally where one ad comes up over the other and you can't close either of them. And it just makes websites unusable. And yeah, I get that I don't have a right to access the website. However, my computer made an HTTP request and you served me with content in an HTML file to be rendered on my web browser. So I asked and you answered. So if I then block content from that because it's not the content I wanted to see, I don't feel like I lost you revenue because you didn't get to serve me an ad. Then let's go to the practical implications of these ads. Am I a consumer who's going to purchase Glasswire or Raid Shadow Legends or LTT store water bottles or hoodies or there's a bunch of other ones that Linus Tech Tips has? No. I appreciate that they have sponsorship by those companies, and I'm sure there are some people out there who will buy their merch or support their sponsors. I'm sorry, I'm not it. I'm a child of the internet. I'm resistant to ads. My eyes actually just, when I see like the block for an ad come up, my eyes just go somewhere else. I don't even, like I intentionally don't even read the ad, and it's so automatic at this point. It's not even like a burden on my brain to have to go like, oh, I'm going to try to look around the ad. I'm not going to look at the ad. No, it just happens because I'm so tired of these freaking ads. I have not purchased things from ads for a very long time. Once in a while, I will find something that I want because of an ad. The way I find things is more organic. Adam Savage recently accidentally advertised to me, and I bought stuff based on it. Do you know what he advertised to me? He advertised to me those little heat shrink wire connectors. If you haven't seen these are really cool. I'm really not trying to sell these to you. I have no investment in this technology. Kelly and I tested them last night. She did a project for school, and it works. It's really great. And where did I hear about it and buy it from? I heard about it through Adam Savage because he talked about it on one of his, like, these are the coolest tools that I found recently, and he was doing a section on electronics. So that's how you advertise to me. No one's figured that out yet. I don't know why they haven't figured that out yet, but no one's figured that out yet. They're still trying to sell me car warranties and Raid Shadow Legends, which is just not the way I play games and not the way I buy things. What have I bought recently? I bought The Ascent, the video game The Ascent, because my friends told me it was a cool game. Was it advertised to me in any way? No. Had I ever heard about it? No. Probably because I don't have ads because I use AdBlock, right? That's what would have happened. But yeah, this is a cat and mouse game. This is a common refrain. We have heard this before. History does not repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme. Let me know what you think about the piracy situation with blocking ads. Specifically, what do you think of Linus Tech Tips claiming that ad blocking is piracy? In the comments below.
When you're saying piracy,
Sure.
would you back this up in a legal sense?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I think that's something that people are having problems with.
I don't mean in a legal sense it's piracy.
It doesn't mean you should be able to get sued for it.
Nope. It just means that you've decided unilaterally that you don't like the price, so you just take it and don't pay for it. If that's not, call it whatever you want.
Thanks for watching. Special thanks to our top supporters in January: John Steele, Gavin Barnard, Eevi, Spirit Bear, Benjamin Hitov, Ugly Grill, Torpedan, NotMike, ShadowTycho, Earthbound Star, TechTechPotato, Eric Tams, PureMagma, and the Blood-Soaked Survivors. You can support Lawful Masses on patreon.com/ljfrench, sponsus.com/law, through YouTube memberships, and through Floatplane subscriptions. Join me for our weekly live production stream on twitch.tv/lawfulmasses on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern US time. I hope everyone has a great week and a happy new year. I love you all. Bye.